So I'm Dr. Jordan Taylor. I'm the Undergraduate Exercise Science Program Director here at the University of Kansas. I'm also an Associate Teaching Professor. So I have a lot of different roles, wear a lot of different hats. Primarily I have a heavy teaching load and then also administrative duties that I'm actively engaged in. First year here was 2015, so that's been 9 years now. I pretty much made the jump. I graduated with my PhD from KU Med Center in May of 2015. And then in August 2015, I was here at some of my work is at KU Lawrence campus, some is at Edwards campus in Overland Park. So I'm back and forth between those two campuses. Well, if we start with the fall semester, it varies a little bit each semester. So I'll start with fall semesters. I teach exercise biochemistry, neuromuscular exercise physiology and motor control. And then the third class I teach is health and pathophysiology. And when we get into the spring semester, it's a little different. I teach kinesiology, principles of personal training, and a clinical exercise physiology class. And then in the summer, I teach an online medical terms class, so medical terminology online in the summer. And these classes, that I teach throughout fall, spring, and summer semesters, some of them are in person, some of them are online, some of them are a hybrid format, which is now becoming very common at universities across the country where in a hybrid format, there's certain things you may do hands-on activities in class, certain things like in the lab. Here we're in the lab at KU Edwards campus. And so you come to class for those hands-on activities and learning experiences, and then you have assignments that are online and maybe exams and quizzes to complete online, and they're submitted that way. Right now, because my role as program director, I have a lot of administrative duties and then I have that heavy teaching load, so I'm not engaged in any research right now. That would spread me pretty thin if I was doing that in addition to my other duties. So research that I've previously done, though, that I'll talk about, when I was working on my PhD at KU Medical Center, I was engaged in concussion research and traumatic brain injury. So I was really interested in looking at how exercise affects the brain at the cellular and molecular level. And I did studies in rodents and also was involved in some human studies as well. So again, it was, I've said for years, when I explained to people what my research was that I was engaged in, it's like we've known for 20, 30 years, well, more than that actually, that exercise is great for cardiovascular health, great for bone health, muscle. But I should say it's been the last 20 or 30 years maybe that they've really started to look at how exercise affects the nervous system and the brain. And so exercise is great for brain health, and we know that. And so that was kind of my area of research interest. Well, we've got a great history, great faculty. I really enjoyed all the faculty I met during the interview, wanted to be here. Plus, I'm a Kansas guy. I was born and raised in Dodge City, Kansas, so I'm from Western Kansas, and lived in all parts of the state. Western Kansas, lived in Wichita. I've lived in now Eastern Kansas. I moved here in 2009 to start that PhD. But yeah, I've been at KU since 2015, enjoyed it. It seems like everyone is just friendly on campus, and it's a great place to work at. I would say, again, it's my coworkers. I feel like everyone is very driven in the department, passionate about their work, and that kind of spills over to me. Who doesn't want to come to a place where they're excited about working at, right? And so it's the people that I work with, it's the students, it's their hunger to learn. All of that kind of helps drive and motivate me. I love to teach. Like I said, I enjoy research, and I remember this was asked by Dr. Weir, our former chair, in my interview when I was hired back in 2015. And I said, I love to teach. I like research, but I really enjoy teaching. And the reason I love teaching so much is just, it's very rewarding for me to see students grow and become independent learners and then go out into the workforce, become productive members of society in whatever capacity that may be. A lot of our exercise science graduates, about 66% of them go into physical therapy. So they want to be physical therapists, but we have a significant chunk that go into other areas of the medical field and health, wellness, sports science. So we have students that want to be strength and conditioning coaches. We have students that go into occupational therapy, medical school, chiropractic school, PA school. So It's really a great degree for students that want to branch out into a variety of different fields. And like I said, there's nothing better for me, nothing that's more rewarding is when I get like a thank you note or a thank you email. It's like, hey, Dr. Taylor, like, you know, I made it through PT school, passed my boards, now I'm a PT, and, you know, thank you for helping me out on my journey or whatever. And it's like I always say, well, you know, yeah, I may have helped guide you and facilitate some of that, but you did the hard work, you put in the time and effort, and I'm just happy to be a part of that puzzle. If I go back to, I laugh about this, but I started college in the late 1900s. That makes me sound old, right? But 1999 was my first year of college. You know, I was living in Dodge City. I had a football scholarship to Dodge City Community College, so I went there. That's where I started my college career. And after a couple years there, at Dodge City Community College, I went to Wichita State University, completed my bachelor's and master's degrees in exercise science at Wichita State University. And then I worked for several years after my master's degree in a variety of positions. I worked as a personal trainer, strength and conditioning coach. I worked as an exercise physiologist with spinal cord injury patients. And then I went and finished that PhD at KU Medical Center. Like I said, I finished that in 2015. So hometown, as I mentioned previously, is in Dodge City, Kansas. So I laugh. I always ask students, first day of class, does anybody know where Dodge City is? And a few hands go up. And you know, it's I always say you can see for miles out there, and there's not a lot but miles to see. But there's a lot of great people in Dodge City. You know, there's a lot of great people in Western Kansas. And so yeah, that's where my roots are. I'm busy with my 15-year-old daughter at this point. She's into sports and specifically volleyball. So there'll be summer volleyball camps and you know, training going on for that. Working out, love lifting weights. My daughter does as well with me. Fishing, I love to fish. Shooting guns. Oh gosh, a lot of hobbies. I mean, anything sports related, whether it's a pickup basketball game or, you know, throwing around the football. I like being active and out and about. Love going to comedy shows, concerts, movies. I mean, I can find a lot of different things interesting. You know, I said I had a football scholarship to Dodge City Community College back in 1999. I was injured playing there. Thought after the injury, I was like, you know, I'm just going to focus on school and getting a degree. Well, I ended up going to Wichita State where they don't have a football team. But I was sitting there watching an arena football game that was in Wichita at the old Kansas Coliseum. And I looked over at my buddy and I said, man, I want to play football again. I think I'm going to try out for this team next year. He's like, really? You know, you gonna do that? I was like, yeah. I said, I'm kind of missing it, you know, and obviously Wichita State doesn't have a team, so I think I'm gonna give this a shot. So first year I went out, went to training camp, got released. Next year in 2003, I was out, made the team, spent most of the year on the practice squad that next year, but then I played in 2003 through 2006 on the arena and indoor football team there in Wichita. So it provided a little bit of extra money while going to school, and it was a blast playing indoor arena football. So I really enjoyed that and had a lot of fun.